Today's going to be fun. We have a company in my house who is going to show you how to dig into really big databases or small ones and get a lot more out of them with AI. So, welcome to my house. And we got three people here. Who are you?
I'm Isabella. I'm the business co-founder of CamelAI.
Yeah.
I'm Miguel. I'm the technical co-founder of CamelAI.
Yeah.
Ileana, I'm the CEO of CamelAI.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. All right. So since you're the CEO, what is this all about? What's CamelAI?
Yeah, so we are an AI data analyst. Basically, you can plug in any of your data sources, anything from CSVs to data warehouses, data lakes, and then you can query across all of them with one pass. But we go deeper than that. We actually perform analysis, so you can request anything you'd like and basically have an on-call data analyst perform whatever you'd like.
Yeah, and this is for somebody like who works at Shopify or some company with a sizable database or a bunch of databases that they want to get some value out of.
Totally. So what we started this because we were having the problem, right? So prior to CamelAI, we were actually indie developers. Miguel and I were working in Silicon Valley. We quit our jobs, moved in with my mom in Texas, and started shipping apps. And what we noticed was we had all this data of our app performance, but we didn't actually have any way to analyze it. And that pain had kind of followed us through multiple products. And eventually, ChatGPT, Anthropic, all of these products are getting so good that we're like, why can't we just plug our data sources in and get answers out? So that's exactly what we built. We decided to do that. So it can apply to founders at small companies, but we've also seen growth with people who have disparate data sources. So they have a bunch of CSVs and they want to ask a question and get one answer, but they don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does this help you clean your databases up, and get it ready for doing other things?
Not yet, but
Okay.
that is a feature people want. Right now, you do have to have columns and rows. It can perform basic data cleaning. So if you have some complicated fields where everything's in a JSON, we can parse that out and make sense of it. And we can also query across different data sets in one analysis, which is cool.
Yeah.
So that you can skip a data cleaning step without having to put everything in the same database, but no data cleaning yet.
Yeah. And what's the business model here? Because it's probably an enterprise thing, right? Is it
I think Bella would probably be the best.
Yeah, so business model, we're trying several different approaches. We have a prosumer approach. We're seeing a lot of activities with CSVs because it's such a low lift. So we have people who have a real estate portfolio that need to manage all of their rental properties, uploading CSVs into Camel to ask questions and figure out, what they should be pricing their real estate rental properties at. But we also have enterprises that are interested in wrapping Camel around their products. So that's a model that we have. And we also have just the annual ARR, contracts so that you can start using Camel internally as your AI data analysis, but bespoke per person or per team.
Very cool. Can we get a demo?
Yeah, love to. So here we have loaded in all of Hacker News.
Yep.
So here you can see we generate some recommendations. These are going to be kind of simple stuff, but you can really ask as deep as you want. So let's see, let's figure out, all right, what are the trends of different sites being posted?
Yeah, so this is just all of Hacker News data in a BigQuery instance.
And so now it'll go to work. Now it's developing a plan. It's going to start issuing queries. It's going to start showing the output of these queries and see it's doing some more analysis. It's finding, okay, these are some of the most common: GitHub, YouTube, Wikipedia. Okay, now GitHub, it has this many monthly posts. So it's really going to work here and really diving into the data. And now here it's generated actually a visualization. It's also generated this sort of miniature report on this based on this analysis. Here are the key trends. It gives us some really interesting trends. GitHub dominates. GitHub is consistently the most posted domain on Hacker News, typically 1,200 to 1,500 posts per month. This makes sense given HN's technical audience. YouTube is second. it goes so on and so forth, and it really puts its own sort of analysis on here that you get from a human data analyst. And if you want to dive into this visualization that it creates, you can actually like maximize this. This is interactive, so you can hover. Different graphs have different sort of interactivity, but here you can see that GitHub and YouTube definitely dominate the rest. Down here you can see the raw data. You can download this raw data as a CSV. You can download this image as a PNG, and then you can even see, okay, maybe I want to double check, how did you come up with that? So this is actually the SQL query it ran to get this data. And you can just use that in your own dashboards or for your own reference for later. If this is live data, and actually, this is a live data source, you can say, hey, this is actually really important to me. I'd like to look at this every single day. So instead of having to come in here and ask it the same question over and over, you can just hit the save button, and you can create a dashboard or add it to an existing dashboard. So I'm going to make a new dashboard, Hacker News. And now when you go to your dashboard, this is going to be live data every time you reload the page. So this is the actual data right now, today, of what it looks like, but tomorrow this graph is going to be slightly different. So you can actually build dashboards the same way a data analyst would build dashboards, and you can ask it questions the same way you'd ask a data analyst questions.
This is way better than Perplexity.
We're actually, in the beginning we were calling this Perplexity for your data, and that's really what it is.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Just from a simple prompt, AI is such a trip, isn't it?
It is. Extremely powerful.
If we had this hooked up to our corporate databases, what kinds of things do you think people would want to do, like marketers or people going into the CEO, giving a report on Monday morning or something like that? Here's how our business is doing. What kinds of things do you think they would do with this?
Yeah, for sure. So marketing, that's a big one. You need to understand exactly how your campaigns are performing. A lot of cohorts, right? You want to understand who is doing what with the information you're giving them. So that is a perfect example of it. You can actually, we've seen people in meetings be able to reference this. A lot of times, like you said, like maybe going into a meeting, you want to have all your stuff ready, but with a tool like this, you can just go into the meeting, and as the questions come up, you can ask them and get the real-time answers on the fly. And so this really changes the game with a lot of data analysis, because because it took so long, you had to have these things ready beforehand, but now you can do this ad hoc, just as these questions come up. Maybe you're having a conversation and somebody says, I wonder how this shoe is doing compared to that shoe, and you can just check. And no dashboards need to be kind of pre-made for that. So yeah.
I actually have kind of a boots on the ground example from one of our customers that I'll anonymize so that I can talk about it. So we're working with a major newsletter right now. And I did not know the business model of newsletters, but it's all advertisement for revenue.
Yeah.
And so they have to propose, they have to go to advertisers or other companies or brands that would want to put their advertisement in their newsletter by slicing the data on their audience and proving that by advertising with this newsletter, you'll have some subset of your audience that's going to purchase X amount more because they see you in our newsletter. So we're working with that company to be this ad hoc data analyst for their sales team so that their third-party data sources can pipe into their audience data that's on in-house that they've built, and then be able to have these really bespoke proposals to say, look, we know certainly that this subset of our audience would buy your product, and here's why.
Yeah, that's very powerful. I have a newsletter. Please sponsor it. And that's exactly what they want to know, what drives sales, right? If you don't drive sales, they don't come back.
And these salespeople and marketing people, which, I'm a salesperson and marketing person. I don't know SQL. So part of the reason that they also built CamelAI was so that I would stop asking questions, because they were like, we need to code.
What I noticed is you're not doing a lot of prompt engineering tricks. You just wrote a very simple prompt and it did all this, right? So you don't have to give it a whole story or do any of the tricks you used to have to do to really get something useful out of an engine like this, right?
We do a lot
Exactly.
of the fancy prompt engineering under the hood. So
Yeah.
as a user, you can hopefully just ask like a question like you would a normal analyst, and it'll give you a really in-depth response.
It's really cool. Any tips on using this? You know, if for people who might try it for the first time. First of all, how hard is it to get to hook up to a database? I mean, here you showed Reddit, so we can play around with Reddit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
hooking up to a data lake or even a simple database inside a corporation, how hard is that?
Yeah, so it's a great question. We made this as easy as possible. So different data sources are, easier than others, but for the most part, it's pretty simple. I can try to show you a quick demo here if you'd like.
Sure.
Of connecting.
Okay.
It's like my Wi-Fi's cutting out.
I
See, hold on.
hope it works.
Okay, there we go. So, so I have a bunch of these data sets connected right now, but if you go over here, you can connect, you can see all the different data sources that we offer. And you can upload, so Excel sheets, this is really simple, and a lot of people, when they're just getting to try it out on our free tier, we see them uploading a bunch of Excel sheets or CSVs just to get the hang of it. And this is really simple, it's just a file upload.
Yeah, so if you have a big ass Excel spreadsheet, try it out.
Absolutely, yeah. We can handle, up to a terabyte. I don't think any Excel sheets a terabyte, exist.
I don't know anybody who has a terabyte Excel spreadsheet, and if you do, you're naughty. Because
Exactly. Yeah, you shouldn't really have a database.
but it's not the place to put a terabyte of data.
Exactly. And so this really handles like anything you can throw at it. And then for databases and data warehouses, there's no limit. You could have as much data as possible there.
I have something to add to that.
Yeah.
So I think what's important to note for enterprises when hooking up their databases or data warehouses is to consider the nuances and the tiny little details that make it your database. So CamelAI is very much like a college grad data analyst, maybe an associate level data analyst. It can do really complex statistical analysis and math, sure, but in terms of what it knows about your database and your data warehouse, it only knows what you tell it. So we have two features to support that. The first is our knowledge base, and the second is the ability to add reference queries. So if you have a list of Scratch queries that you already use pretty frequently, you can plug that into Camel so that it gets to know what you like to see and the nuances of your actual schema. So we can kind of show off knowledge base or whatever you wanted to show off.
There's databases like, you have your MySQL, you got a MongoDB, we have others here as well. But for Supabase, this is one of the easier ones to hook up, and a lot of people use Supabase nowadays. So if we could, I'm gonna turn off my VPN. I think maybe this is causing. All right, so now we're going to get just this simple OAuth screen. You can select what to connect it to. We're gonna hit authorize, and this shouldn't take very long. We're setting up a connection here straight to your database. So I'm just going to do this this demo database that I have.
Yeah.
And so now we're actually indexing your data a little bit right now under the hood, and we'll generate this description. So it looks like this data set represents the structure and components of database designed for e-commerce or business management platform. You can tweak this all you want just to give Camel like an overview of your data. We're gonna keep it like this for now. And then, like Isabella said, you can paste in your queries here if you want to teach it any queries that it should know beforehand. We're just going to skip that. You don't strictly need that.
Yeah.
And you can start chatting with it right away. And so this is the database, analyze which customers place the most orders. This is some dummy data set, so we'll see how it works. And there you go. It's going
fast.
Yeah, it's really fast. And then also, if you'd like to kind of teach it about the data, you can teach it in natural language right here on this knowledge base. So you can say like, when I say customer, I mean someone who has paid in the last 12 months, right? You can save that, and now it knows that going forward. So So yeah, that's connecting a data source.
This is so, I mean, I worked at Programming Magazine in the 90s, and we had workshops on SQL Server, and it was a pain in the ass to do. This is so much nicer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a revolution in how you can look at data and get insights into it, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. We found ourselves like we were just copying and pasting like from Claude and GPT into our database. Like we weren't really writing the SQL ourselves anymore because it was just a pain. So we were having to do it, and we were like, well, why can't it just do it on its own, right? Like why should we be copy pasting all day back and forth? So yeah, we felt the pain, and this is part of why we built this.
Well, thanks so much for coming to my house and giving me a little taste.
Oh yeah.
We could go on for a while and try a whole bunch of things, but this is amazing. People should go and try it themselves on their own data.
Absolutely, yeah. You can try us for free at CamelAI.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.